Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 13, Chapter 4 Complete Victory, Part 1. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the anime and manga series. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. 7 days had passed since Operation Maze Raider began. They failed to pass the report back, leaving Calgurio to spend the restless hours. The reason for this constant state of anxiety is to mask instinctive fear. There is still no way to contact the other units, and contact with those inside the labyrinth has been broken. At first glance they looked completely isolated in enemy territory. Such a situation made Calgurio uneasy. Still no one's coming back. He let out an angry roar, but no one responded. That's actually the answer. And it wasn't just Calgurio, those staff officers knew the situation wasn't good. Although none of the soldiers came back to the ground, they were still able to interact with the people inside at first. It is possible to consolidate the information and get a general idea of the situation. According to the information gathered, the lowest floor in the labyrinth is also more than 50 floors. Although the floors were exchanged every time they were full of 1,000 people, the soldiers were still able to enter in order. They repeatedly sent people into the maze several times, and calculated that the floor was probably over 54 floors. Yuki had once revealed to them the contents of the report that Shinji and others had brought back, hearing that the maze had 60 layers. Yet this information was not reliable, and they found this out early on. This was because someone reported upwards the next day that they had found the floor dominated by the Immortal King. That Immortal King seems to be one of the so-called 10 Lords of the Labyrinth. Nowadays, no one dares to laugh at those people anymore. No matter how powerful the elite personnel are, they seem to be struggling. Yes, the operation may fail if it goes on like this. How can that be? But no matter how much you bet, it's useless. Yes, that's just a waste of money. And the guards here are disturbing, too, I suppose. So what should be done? There is only one answer. Only the most primitive method of maze planning can be used: form an elite team to challenge. Sitting in the front row was an elegant man, looking calm and gentle. The man's name is Minute. He was the first right-hand man to Calgurio's side, ranking high as a major general. It was the commander of this battle plan that was recommended by Calgurio. Next to him sat a cold man with a cigarette in his mouth. His eyes seemed to be staring at his prey, and his bearded face was so decent that anyone opposite him would be afraid. And this man also possesses no less strength than his appearance. He's Grand Marshal Kansas. He is a hero who has made many great achievements. The most famous of these is the Monster Country Annihilation Campaign. The man in charge at the time was Kansas. Other celebrities include Michelle and Raymond. These two are otherworldly visitors. These 100 men alone could destroy the knights of other nations. Calgurio decided to entrust everything in this battle plan to those heroes. So, everyone, you've heard all about it, right? Our comrades are currently awaiting rescue in the labyrinth. Certain conditions had to be met in order to leave the maze, one of which was still to crush the Demon Lord. If the strongest mecha legion in our empire is sent, I am sure this problem will be solved as well. Only pity. That would waste too much time. We will crush the 10 Lords of the Labyrinth and collect the 10 keys. That would seem to gain the right to challenge the Demon Lord Rimuru. I look forward to your being able to take on this task. I want to ask you to crush the Demon Lord. Wrap it up on us, Lord Calgurio. For us, the glorious Imperial Army, the Demon Lord is no match at all. Let's prove it next. No one in the room objected to Minute's words. Because these people were proud of their abilities, everyone was sure they would win. So much so that they elected the brave man in charge of challenging the Demon Lord. These people don't know the truth. It is because of their ignorance that they get their hopes up. Knowing nothing about it didn't reveal the hidden crisis in the maze. This is the time when retreat is the right thing to do. But it was all too late. Calgurio was too slow to make the decision. The battle inside the labyrinth was over and no one was left inside. He had no idea that the situation had turned out this way. The chosen brave men are ready to enter the daunting maze with aplomb. We were all drawn to the images on the big screen, and we were able to catch our breath. Should I say it's not surprising? The Imperials seemed to take that as a joke and ignored the warning written on the door. And the number of general soldiers sent into the labyrinth exceeded our expectations. That's great. The results exceeded expectations. I don't think there's anyone who has to be on guard. One of the reasons should be that the 10 Lords of the Labyrinth are too strong, but it really seems like it's easier than one would think. There seems to be another movement on the enemy's side. Right. This time it didn't have to be manned. The members seem to have been selected. It's going to come in eventually anyway, they should have made their decision earlier. Then our people in the labyrinth will probably be in a bit of a fight too. Hey, isn't that just what we want? Yeah, that's right, but it's disturbing that things are going so well. Things have gotten so miserable that it would generally be right to choose to retreat. What on earth was the commander on the enemy's side thinking? Answer. There is a lack of knowledge of the current situation because of the impediments to communication with other forces. The speculation may be to hold out hope that one should not have and not give up the chance to win. If the commander had a real grasp of the situation, perhaps the other side would have retreated. Answer. No. If you do not teach your enemies thoroughly, you will leave a legacy. There is no need to show mercy to the intruder. No matter what you do, there is nothing worse than not being able to do it. The enemy also has their family, and presumably the family that was left behind will feel sad. Anyway, it's too late to say that. Unlike Master Raphael, the King of Wisdom, I am indecisive. If the enemy flee, let them go, and attack again, and then crush them again. Maybe I'm still too naive to let my opponent decide what to do in the future. I sighed quietly in my heart, and at this time, Ramirez got in touch with me. Rimuru, can I talk now? Yes, no problem. I'm asking you, there'll be another 100 people coming, right? It seems so. The enemy seems to be very strong this time. So, the Labyrinth Lords, they want to ask for something. Ramirez told me about what they were asking for. Request number 1, sponsored by Gadra. I didn't expect that there was someone he knew among those Labyrinth intruders. The names seemed to be Michelle and Raymond, who are otherworldly visitors. He would step up and convince, begging me to let them join as partners. Request number 2, sponsored by Kumara. She also seemed to spot familiar faces from among the intruders. Yet unlike Gadra, not old acquaintances, but those she wants revenge from. This man not only destroyed the Kumara's hometown of Monster Country but also sold the young Kumara to the Demon Lord Clayman. I didn't expect such a vicious bastard to be affiliated with the Imperial Army. What do you think, Benimaru? Well, send a few more men against them, and it will be easier to win, but it will not be. I know you can't fight a war without knowing what you're going to do, but we can't just accept the proposal, can we? If Gadra succeeds in convincing them, it is well to say that even if it fails, there is not much to lose. Indeed, that is correct. It's all about spreading each other's fighting power anyway, so leave those two to Gadra. As for Kumara, anyone who wants revenge doesn't want to be hindered. So to put it this way, Kumara used to be dominated by Clayman using spells. Since the man who started it was here, of course she would want revenge. For these reasons, I have decided to approve. These requests are approved, Ramirez. Great. If it's Rimuru, it's reasonable. Anyway, we want to spread the other side's strength, so Gadra's side we will just let him deal with Michelle and Raymond. This way, give her the bearded man. I don't know what his name is, but this man's face is nasty. Let's send that guy over there. Then send a message to Kumara to do her best. Okay, let her have it. That man over there looks like he's in command. Lord Rimuru, let that man be alone and leave him to Apito to clean up. He also said, you can't win with more bullying, but you can't win with less, but he said that he was planning to do so easily. But I went with his offer. Ramirez, that fashionable middle-aged man seems to be the commander, send this guy alone to Apito's side. I get it. To take away his command, so that the enemy becomes a scattered disk of sand. It's a dirty battle plan. Can we give the rest of the 100 men to Adelman? Understood. Although other people's Dragon King treasures were lost, others were still trying. Let's work at this pace until the end. Even if those Dragon Kings were better off, they were no good against the hordes that swarmed in. Despite being robbed of 4 keys, there were still 6 Labyrinth Lords left to lose. Let's ask them to continue at this pace. It's up to you, but you must not be careless. There may be dangerous people in those 100 people. No problem. I said that Rimuru would be watching from the sidelines and everyone was in high spirits. And the king of the labyrinth is Master Veldora. This time the maze's condition becomes, collect 10 keys and defeat the king of the maze to win. I can't imagine that Veldora would go down. I think that aspect can be taken care of. Right, me too. Then keep up the good work. Leave it to us. So next, one last step to go. To observe the final battle, my gaze pulled back to the screen once more.